Do you start to dread the beginning of the holiday season? Are you uncomfortable being around people that find the holidays to be very enjoyable? Do you find yourself feeling cynical about the holidays when you don't want to? Well, if you've answered yes to any of these questions, you may be suffering from the holiday blues, which is a real issue. Stick around, we're going to talk more about it and what you can do to feel better during this holiday season. Now is always the time to start making positive changes in your life. Dr. Donna, Leigh Bliss here. On this channel, I promote optimal mental health and well-being to help you become the best version of yourself. Please click on the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I release new videos. If there are topics you would like me to make a video on, please let me know in the comment section below. For many people, fall is an enjoyable time. The weather's a little bit cooler, there's a crispness in the air, but also it's the beginning of the holiday season. For many people, that starts before Halloween. And so it's a time of being with people you care about and being festive and really looking forward to the next couple months of celebrations. But for some people, that time of the year is not very pleasant. It can actually be very painful and depressing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the holiday blues, which is actually a serious issue that needs to be dealt with. And most importantly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you can do to feel better during the holiday season. The National Alliance on Mental Illness defines the holiday blues as temporary feelings of anxiety or depression during the holidays that can be associated with extra stress, unrealistic expectations, or even memories that accompany the season. While the holiday blues are different than a mental illness, it is something to take seriously because it can lead to clinical problems with anxiety and depression. So the holiday blues can stem from many different kinds of resources. They include current events, personal grief, loneliness, illnesses of all kinds, economic concerns, separation from family members, and relationship issues like separation and divorce. It can also be triggered because if you grew up in a dysfunctional family where the holiday season may have been associated with parents being intoxicated or fights or just turmoil, in your adult life, the holiday season may bring up those feelings from childhood that are still quite painful. One of the most important aspects of understanding why we might have the holiday blues and are struggling this time of the year is understanding the role of expectations. We are living in a world where we're surrounded by media, television, radio, films, the internet. Most people have a smartphone they carry and they get access to media messages, advertisements 24/7. Well, it seems that every year, earlier and earlier and earlier in the season, companies start advertising, usually for Christmas, about buying things. And advertisements tend to portray people that are happy. They're parts of families and communities, and it's just all very good times. And the problem is that if you didn't grow up in a very happy family life, you might find yourself trying to meet these expectations but not being able to. The expectations are also unreasonable because they're not real. Human beings are fallible. We have feelings. We get upset. We get angry, oftentimes with the people we're closest to. So the idea that this time of the year everybody should love each other and just get along is actually an illusion. It's really difficult to do that, and it can put so much stress on people that they can end up acting out, getting angry, getting lonely, getting depressed, feeling very anxious. So when you step back and start to feel that you're dreading the holiday season, what you actually might be dreading are these expectations that you have for yourself of how you think you're supposed to feel, but also how you think other people are feeling. Because the reality is, most people struggle to some degree with holiday expectations too. People aren't like the people in commercials. They're not happy all the time. So if you're tired of feeling anxious or depressed and just dreading the holiday season and looking forward to the first of the year when the holidays are finally over, here are some tools you can use that can help you feel better. The first is to limit your exposure to advertisements. They are relentless, and they just pound the message home time after time that if you buy something, then you're going to feel happy. And so when you don't have so much exposure to these messages, you don't get so caught up in the expectations that your life is supposed to be like the lives of people that you see on advertisements, because they just don't work. So for some people, that involves having limited shows they watch on TV, or maybe watching a streaming service that doesn't have videos, or limiting their time on tablets or phones so that they're not seeing advertisements all over the place. Admittedly, that's hard to do because we're surrounded by it. But when we limit our exposure to it, it helps us to be a little bit more grounded in the reality of our life rather than the unreasonable and unrealistic expectations that are being portrayed in the media. So related to limiting your exposure is letting go of comparing yourself to others, especially in terms of how you think you're supposed to feel. Some people don't enjoy the holidays. Others are more neutral about it, and then there are others that just love the holidays. It's their favorite time of the year. So when we compare ourselves to others, we unwittingly make a value judgment that there's something wrong with us if we're not feeling the way we think other people are feeling or the way we're supposed to. So if you could catch yourself and just realize that you may not be as excited about Christmas or Thanksgiving or any of the other holidays such as Hanukkah or Kwanzaa that happen this time of the year, there isn't necessarily anything wrong with you, and I'll guarantee you that not everybody in the world feels excited. There's quite a bit of diversity in how people experience the holidays, and so you can give yourself a break by letting go of comparing yourself to others. Another tool is to let others help you. Now this can be very difficult because the holiday blues are frequently associated with feeling lonely and isolated and depressed, and the last thing you might want to do is reach out to other people. But the alone apartness that you can feel can be very, very painful. So talking to other people about how you feel can be helpful, especially people who aren't going to judge you. Talking to a close friend who might really enjoy the holidays but doesn't feel that it's their mission to make sure that everybody else gets excited as them. Or maybe talking to a therapist. But it really helps to develop a perspective when we can share our feelings and maybe even our struggles with other people and not feel judged. And oftentimes this can make the holidays not only more bearable, but also somewhat enjoyable. So talk to other people, especially supportive people, about how you really feel. Stay away from people that are going to judge you negatively or think there's something wrong with you because you're not all excited about the holiday season. And stick with people that are just caring about you and they want you to feel good, and they don't have an expectation that you have to be super excited about the holidays like they are. Another tool is to create your own rituals or meaning for this time of the season. If you think about the advertisements you see, the meaning of the season is pretty much derived by commercial interests. Companies that want you to buy things. For many of these companies, this is the time of the year when they make money. So for some people, the holidays are associated with just spending time with friends or being with loved ones. For others, it's a time of great festivity, lots of rituals, maybe going to church, at Christmas time, looking at Christmas lights, putting up trees. The reality is that you don't have to follow somebody else's way of experiencing the holiday season. You might want something that's more low-key or something that's more secular. So let's say that you grew up in a dysfunctional family where the holiday seasons were a time of fighting and arguments, and you just dread putting up a Christmas tree because every year your father would get drunk, pick a fight with your mother, and end up collapsing on the tree because he passed out. Now, admittedly, that's probably something that doesn't happen a lot, but I'll bet you it does happen. So you might dread the idea of putting up a Christmas tree, but maybe you'd feel good about putting a wreath on your door, or putting up some decorations, maybe a few lights or something. So you can start to think about what you would like to do to create meaning for yourself rather than feel compelled to experience the holidays either the way you grew up or the way you think you're supposed to. It really can make a big difference. And finally, one of the most powerful ways to lift up your mood during the holiday season is to help other people. Now that might be hard if you're not feeling good about yourself, but there are lots of people that are less fortunate in the world. They may not have homes or a lot of money or enough food to eat. They may be struggling with poverty or mental illness. Maybe they have trauma backgrounds that get exacerbated this time of the year. So doing volunteer work, even if it's just a one-off, doing a community event or working at a soup kitchen or just helping out can take us outside of ourselves. And I've worked with many clients over the years that talk about how when they do volunteer work, that actually makes the holiday season feel okay. That it makes it more enjoyable, it makes it more meaningful. So if you're not sure what to do and you're really just tired with sucking it up or feeling cynical, working with other people can make a huge difference in uplifting your mood and helping you feel better during this time of the year. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it gave you a better understanding of the holiday blues and why you might be struggling emotionally this time of the year, but more importantly, help you to see that there are tools that you can use to feel better. And while you may never be super excited about the holiday season, it can at least become a time of the year that is more enjoyable and that you feel much less dread. Please click on the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I release new videos. I've also included links to other videos that you might find helpful. Remember, now is always the time to start making positive changes in your life. I'll see you next time.